as it's currently being utilized, doesn't offer, depending on the time of year, there's not spaces for people who are renting boat slips at the marina to leave a car to access it because the parking lot is overwhelmed by others. Our marina manager / harbor master is here and can address it better, I guess. But the question was whether or not the council wanted to consider designating certain numbers of parking spaces in that lot for marina use only, as opposed to just anyone. And Mike, if you have...
Mike Ormsby. When that marina was first built, of course, the town leased the property to the people that ended up with the marina lease, and I think the town built the parking lot, and they were given 3 spaces for the marina. That was it, and it was just going to be an open use parking lot with they had 3 reserved spaces. They weren't as busy as we are now, and I feel bad when the boaters come to go out for the weekend and they try to unload and park their cars and there's no spaces in there, and it happens a lot during the summertime, especially on the weekends. And it would be nice. We're already using a section of lawn to park on, and usually the marina people all park there because people don't know their spaces, so they haul their cars in there. So, but we could use a few more than 3. Actually, one of those 3 is a 15-minute only. So there's actually only 2 spaces that are actually reserved for marina. And the crew, myself and the others, we leave our vehicles when it's busy outside the marina. We park them behind the museum or somewhere like that, so to free up the spaces. But especially on Sundays now, we're having an issue. They have a church down at the lighthouse at the bottom floor, and they park quite a few cars in there. And some of the people that are living in the apartments up on Main Street are parking there. And in this spring, I had 2 cars down there for almost a month that I was trying to find out who owned them. And when I finally did, I asked him if he wouldn't mind parking in a different place, and he did. He parked over by the museum at our request. But so it does. We don't have very many spaces. We get like 12 total parking spaces down there. So
how many do you think you need, Mike?
I would like to see at least half of those or more reserved for marina people. But maybe we could do something like a permit parking, like so people that were leaving overnight down there make that not an overnight unless it's by permit, and that way we wouldn't get cars left there for a few days at a time unless they're marina people. So it's something for you guys to discuss. I don't.
Is that posted public parking? Is there any posting one way or the other down there?
I don't think it's posted at all, except for the marina spaces. Yeah.
But there's not a sign like there is in other public parking spots as you're entering down over the hill, or is there?
I don't know. Is there a sign down there that tells what kind of parking it is? I don't think there is, other than the marina spaces.
Right, just outlining the marina spaces.
Yep.
1 for 10 minutes max, and then 2 designated spots.
And they're up next
but
to
there's
the
nothing
building.
that comes down to the hill that says public parking or marina parking.
No.
Okay.
No. But I know why it was done that way originally. It's because the town put it in, and it was a different entity that ran it. So, yes.
So when I come down over the hill, and I go across the walking path, that's the parking lot we're talking about?
Yes.
Like at the marina?
Yes.
You only have 3 spots at the
We
marina?
only have 3 that are reserved for us, and one of those is a 15-minute only.
There's 12 spots down there.
I think there's 12, right?
13 total,
13,
188,
yeah.
12 regular.
Why wouldn't they be marina parking? That's me.
Well, people pay
it's
quite a bit of money for the slips,
Keep
and,
it
and I
simple,
hate pushing them out with their cars, you
But
know?
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, if we got 12 spots at the marina that the town owns, they should be marina parking.
yeah,
Or
I
half.
think
I mean,
so.
Mike, you thought half would be adequate?
Well,
I mean,
at least to start out with, yes.
you don't want to be greedy, but I mean, it is the parking is for the marina, and it's our marina. But we have no parking for our own marina.
Yeah, during the week, it's not as much of a problem, you know, except maybe July and August, you know, but the weekends, we could use the spaces for the marina people. So,
Well, wouldn't it just be simpler, Mike, to, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth,
Mhm.
but the road to good policy sometimes is paved with good intentions too. If you just put a sign at the top before you drive down in there and find out that X number of spots are designated for the marina, if there's a sign at the top of the hill that says parking down here is for marina only,
I
and
love it.
I just
didn't
and
want
to
to,
me
I
it's
know
just common
parking
sense.
is like a thing with Bucksport, you know, we gotta have places to park, so.
Sure.
I didn't want to take everything away, but, and then have an empty lot on a lousy day that's down there and no one's even parked there, but, yeah, it would be nice if if you just had a sign that said marina parking, you
You would
know.
also
and
have less
just
traffic
left it.
across that.
Oh, true.
Walkway.
Yeah, and it's not, and coming out of there is not a safe place.
No.
I've been asking if we could put up a mirror on that pole there, because people walking down the walkway sometimes walk pretty fast, sometimes they're running, you know, and you cannot, until you get to nosy your vehicle out onto the sidewalk, you can't see if they're coming or not, so it isn't really a real safe area, but, yeah.
But if that's designated for marina parking,
It would be less vehicles.
Right, and you can say, hey, by the way, when you pull out of here, a couple things to watch.
Yeah.
You can't do that for everybody.
No.
Okay.
I think the marina people would be really appreciative if they had spaces when they went in there to
Do you think that makes sense to do a limited, you know, like the month you talked about, leave it for the, you know, this time of year, somebody parking? No.
Oh, this time of year, no, that's fine, but there's what? 4 or 5 spaces this time of year that's available, but that's it pretty much gets used up by the apartment people, you know, yeah.
Well, and they
Yep.
need it in the winter in order to get off the road.
Get off the main road.
So
Yep.
it's some type of a permit parking only
You
for
would,
marina people during the month the marina.
yeah,
Or June to September even.
Yeah.
June to
For-
September, marina parking.
only.
Because
Yeah.
it leaves 15 days in October and 15 days in May, but those shoulders aren't when you're booked like
Right.
you are otherwise. So even if we said that from June 1st to September 30th, it's for marina parking, then that would allow the winter to do what it needed, and it would allow, up through beginning of
Mhm.
June and after.
Yeah, no, it would be nice if we had those spaces for
But I'm
marina.
looking for simple here.
Well, the simplest way is to say marina parking,
Yeah.
you know? That's the simplest way, you know? Seasonal, you know, from May, or from June 1st to,
September 30th.
Yep, September 30th, it's marina parking, you know?
And what about Bayfest? Do you see that being a problem, you know? in the
We
event?
still will close the lot off for Bayfest because they need the space. Everybody's used to that now, so they gripe about it, but they go and move their cars, and we help them out. We go pick up their stuff for them and stuff. So yeah, so that's the only time I on the other things like the art festival, I don't allow it to be locked off, but they still use part of the space, and that's fine. That's fine.
You got a motion, Dan?
Yep, I'll make a motion to put a sign up that says marina parking only from June 1st to September 30th.
Second? All in favor? All right, so fee ordinance, tire fees.
The people that, Eddie Rankin Sr. was here at the last council meeting and expressed concern over the fact that when the fee schedule related to the transfer station was updated, which we updated more than just the transfer station, but that was part of it, included a charge for the disposal of tires, and asked that the committee reconsider charging for the disposal of tires. And at the time it was originally discussed, there was a proposal to limit the number of tires that an entity could bring, and there was a fee associated. And the number piece was eliminated from the ordinance. But the fee, $1 for residential and $2 for if they were brought by a commercial, was left in. And the premise of that was such that at the present time, the town does not charge anyone for the disposal of household trash or recyclables, which virtually everyone who utilizes the transfer station has recyclables and household trash. But the items that the town is charged separately for, the disposal of demolition debris and tires, are things that are charged separately that are not utilized equally by everyone. Not everyone does demo, not everyone. So for those things, the town has established a fee structure and collects fees. And tires were seen to be in that same class. That said, we currently haul them to PERC, which is the only place that you can dispose of tires. They don't go in landfills, they don't go at Fiberite, they don't go anywhere else. But we're not hauling them every 15 minutes. We're not overwhelmed with the volume of tires that we get. We collect them, we haul them, we dispose of them. It's not a huge expense. As I said, the only reason this fee was put in, and that it was to treat those types of materials the same way we treat demo and that kind of thing. But Mr. Rankin is not here this evening because he has a granddaughter being inducted into the National Honor Society and couldn't be here this evening, so I'm not speaking for him, but I know that that when he came to see me about it and when he approached the council, his concern was that if you charge, people are going to throw them in the woods, and that it's an additional cost to business that he didn't believe business should have to absorb, I believe was what he said when he was here.
I think Jamie's here for, do you have something you want to say, Jamie?
No, not really yet. I want to talk to Ed first.
Okay. Should we table this?
We can table this to the next meeting because he can't be here. I mean, I put it on because I didn't know at the time that it was going to coincide with a...
I got a question for Jamie. You charge for disposal fee?
I don't believe anybody does, or there might be one person that does.
In
And
Bucksport?
they do have a place to take the tires. PERC, it's a place in Newport, I believe, that takes and grinds the tires up and puts them in the road, back in the hot top and stuff. So they do have a use for those tires. And that's what PERC, I think, does. The company comes and gets them out there.
How many loads of tires would you say we take in a month?
Last month we hauled about a ton and a half, $72 or $74 a ton, I think we paid.
$70 a ton?
That's our tipping fee.
Right.
Yeah.
And we hauled 1 or 2 tons? 1 ton?
It's been less than 2 tons a month.
Do you feel the dollar fee equates to the cost of getting there? You know,
I think so.
You mean a dollar per tire?
yeah.
It's pretty close to a wash at about $1, I think.
See, I'm always, when it comes to little stuff like this, like if it's better for the business, and we're not losing a ton of money if we just let them dump tires and put them there. And the environmental part of it, there are people that will you know, I'm not gonna pay this money, I'm chucking it in the woods out back, so I'm all for just getting rid of that fee completely.
On both sides?
Yeah.
Private, yeah. Anything else from council?
I would agree with that.
I do too.
I've seen enough shingles in the woods to know that's where it goes when you charge.
Yep.
His answer in the end, he made my decision. I know if you go to Bangor, they do. It's either anywhere from $2 to $4, and I think when we talked about it, that the $2, $4 in Bangor made it easy for me to make a decision on it. If in fact that I think we got three places, right? You, Eddie,
No, I think
and Dave's.
Oh, there's more than that, yeah.
There's
It's
eight.
eight.
Okay.
8 or 9, yeah.
Oh.
There's a guy in the back of,
Bruce?
I guess we got 8.
I can also say that I don't charge for tires.
Okay.
And I can also say, I use a dumpster, and as long as I can get my tires in the dumpster, they go in the dumpster, it don't cost the town anything.
Mhm.
Including,
That's actually what I do. Mine going to dumpster.
I would just like to be able to get out the overflow over to the dump, get rid of them, so they're not piled up around the building.
Okay. So do you want to put that in motion?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to remove the fees on the residential and commercial tires.
Okay, we'll send it to the council, I'll second it.
Yep.
this will go on the council at the next agenda for the first reading to amend the fees ordinance. Okay.
Nothing else? Dan, do you have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?